MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
Okay, was that not the fastest 24-hour period from yesterday till now?
I know. It's crazy. Time just flies right on by.
I guess that means
Say
we're
that all the time, but
getting old, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, one thing turned. It is
And
August.
feeling old.
August. Now, that means 4 months till Christmas? Is that
Yes, I was
roughly?
thinking about that yesterday. I was thinking I've got to start buying a little bit here and there so I'm not last minute like I always am.
But I would like to go ahead and welcome in some cooler weather to make it feel like Christmas.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought that up was I don't know how many people get hung into this. All weekend, I passed by the television and it was Christmas in July on the Hallmark Channel.
It's Christmas in July and a lot of things. You know, sales going on different sites and yeah.
If you count from this forward, I guess it's 5 months, but I'm just jumping ahead to that next month, making it 4 months
Yeah.
till then. It just totally does not seem like we ought to be this far in this year.
I know.
And here we go again. As you start looking at things, probably everybody you know, somewhere, some connection you have is coming down with COVID. You're bound to know
Yes.
someone with this new thing now.
Yeah, it is rampant right now. And I spoke to a friend of mine yesterday who went to a doctor's appointment in Jackson, and she informed me that she has it, and she thought she just had a sinus infection or a cold.
And it
She
wasn't.
said she feels like she just got a bad cold. And but they tested her, I guess, when she got there for, it wasn't for that, it was for something else. But anyway, yeah, and she was at the Neshoba County Fair, and she said that lots of people are coming down with it that
Well,
went
I've-
to the fair. So
I've heard that just tremendously. Now,
Yeah.
has she had the vaccine?
she has had the vaccine.
Now,
Yes.
I also keep, and this is all hearsay
Mm-hmm.
stuff, everybody, that if you've had the vaccine, the people that are getting it is not near as bad
Right.
as if you hadn't had the shot, that you had like
That's
you could
what-
have a
yeah.
cold feeling.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that it's just, it lessens the symptoms, or that it seems to be, you know.
Right.
I think that's what the idea is supposed to be. But,
Now, let's hope. But, as you bring that up, we'll go ahead and throw this up there. This is going to begin, listen to me stuttering again, 11 o'clock this morning. Rush Hospital is going to be at the Lauderdale County Agri Center. They'll be there through 7 o'clock. And if I'm understanding this right, I think they won't turn away anybody. This is a back-to-school
Yeah.
event is what they're calling it, but anybody can come get the shot if you hadn't had it.
right. As long as you're 12 and older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll give you a little card. I've got, and this is what scares me about it. I did mine through I think it was the health department, that line. What happens if you lose that card?
I don't know. I thought about that the other day because, mine's just stuck in my wallet along with a million other things. you know.
Yeah.
What if I lose it? I don't know. Maybe they have where you get it at. Maybe they have a record of it. I know I got mine at CVS.
It
so-
kind of spooks me that if I lose that card, that if you had to actually prove it for something that I
Yeah.
couldn't. I am not the world's best at keeping up with things, is why I say that.
either.
So anyway, the second shot will be August the 24th there at the Ag Center once again, but Rush is out to help you. This stuff is it's ferocious. I wish that it didn't exist, but it does. Again, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, you don't have to. If your doctor says don't take it, don't do it. But if you're on that borderline and you want to be that extra safe, go ahead and get it over with. And
Yeah.
go on
I
your
just
walk.
hope the days are gone of people, they're probably not, of bashing other people if they don't get the vaccine.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Like bash people. I mean, I've heard people say they needed to be thrown in jail. It's
No.
crazy because especially now, since even if you've been vaccinated, you can get it and you can spread it, is what they say. So, lay off of people. I
Yeah,
guess
it's-
that's what I'm saying.
It's your right as an American to
Right.
choose. That's what's so great about this country. You
Yeah.
can choose to do it or not. But, if it so fits you, that's what it is. But don't take this a political.
Right.
Because it just ain't worth it. This is Tuesday as we're going to, and very, very slight chance of rain. We're probably not even going to get any rain today.
Yeah.
That's a miracle, so to speak, that we're not going to do it.
I bet it's going to be hot though.
Yeah, it's coming. Today, not so bad, 86, but
Oh,
by the end of the week, we're back into the 90s once again. Now, let me go over this. This is a change and you will start. This is like the best kept secret in the state of Mississippi. I even called the National Weather Service yesterday and said, look, I'm seeing this in other parts of the United States, but Mississippi has not brought this up. Is this happening? And they go, well, yeah. And I said, well, are y'all putting out some literature on this? And she goes, hang on just a second. She comes back. She goes, no. So I had to make this myself, and I'm not very good at making things. So this is what is happening in the state of Mississippi. They're having new categories. Now, this began yesterday. I know it says today, but that was yesterday. When a thunderstorm warning is issued, there will be 3 different types of warnings now. A baseline, which means it's not too bad. It'll have quarter-size hail mixed in with it and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Considerable will be 70 mile an hour and 1.75, and destructive will be almost 2.75 and 80 mile an hour winds with it.
Right.
So and this is going to be confusing for quite some time.
Yeah.
You know, the old thing where it's a warning is a warning, but not anymore. It'll be 3 different categories. And then on this destructive one, they're working to where this will go off on your phone, just like a tornado warning would.
That's good.
So that I do like that. And all of these will be, I think, by 2024, able to work on your phones to go off on all cases. But this is where we are. Look for these changes. When you start hearing baseline, you probably won't get as scared. And it worries me that people won't pay it as attention.
Right. So who made up these categories?
The National Weather Service.
Okay, yeah.
Now, they're also amongst, let me word it that way. You know how like you have a dense fog advisory or a winter storm advisory?
Right.
They're wanting to get rid of the word advisory because they feel people don't take it as serious. So they've been doing surveys. Look for that to go away. It hasn't happened yet, but I don't, advisory just kind of to me says it. It means that there's a chance.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to change it to. They're doing surveys,
I'm
though.
tired of all these changes.
Me too.
I mean, it's crazy. It's like, you know what? It's like being a kid and having to relearn everything all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Like last week, I learned that nobody writes cursive anymore. I'm the last one in America that writes horrible with it. But I cannot print fast.
Of course, you know, some of these, some of all these craziness, you know, changes that I call, where you have to, you can't say, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna continue to say what I normally say. I ain't doing it.
I understand that. There's just so much I don't get anymore. And no, it's not my age that's causing this.
No.
It's just common sense in most things that we notice that are, pray for America.
I don't know who come up with the word like woke for all this mess.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Because some people are asleep at the wheel. They ain't woke up. You know.
And I guess you missed that concert back in the 90s here, didn't you?
I guess I must have.
Asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
Where they come for the Jimmie Rodgers Festival and me and Carolyn Smith are standing there together. They walk on stage, one flash of lightning hits, and they get back on the bus and get their check and drive off.
Okay.
Bye. See y'all. And if you ever do an outdoor concert, that is always in the contracts. If it's lightning, you got to pay them and they leave. They took their money and run.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's look at today. This is what we're looking at for temperature-wise. If you're planning your day, about 88 here in Meridian. As you go up through Philadelphia, and if you'll notice down here, as you get toward Laurel, Hattiesburg, is where the chances of the rain might happen. But we're pretty good here in Meridian and Northwood. Look at the sunshine up there.
Yeah.
As we jump that state line there, Tuscaloosa, no rain there. But over here around Troy, Alabama, down by Dothan, where they have the Peanut Festival, a chance of rain there. But everybody else is pretty good. So enjoy yourself. Because it's going to be a great day. I'm going to make it be.
I'm glad it's going to be a sunny day. We have open house at the school this evening.
Oh, well, you get to go meet the teacher.
Yeah, and I, from what I understand, I think it's going to be a kind of come meet your teacher and go type thing.
Oh,
you know,
because of COVID.
That's what I had been told yesterday by a friend of mine.
So no finger food or anything like that?
No, I doubt all that, yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised that things are going as planned, you know, with opening, with all the craziness. But I mean, I'm glad they are.
Right, but
I'm
you're
glad that things are going.
time.
Yeah, I'm glad they are. I'm glad that we're not, you know, holding off on going back to school and stuff. Because I mean, people can mask up, you know, if that's what they're afraid of, and hopefully do the right thing. And like we said, I mean, I really feel like everybody is going to be affected by this before it's over with.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, I was thinking about this yesterday, I wonder if you get COVID, this new strain, like, can you get it again? Like, continually keep getting it? If you're around people who continually, like, have it? I don't know.
That's a great question.
I don't know. I just was kind of
and I need to
make sense what I just said.
Well, I need to contact one of the hospitals and have a doctor come out and do the show with us one morning, and we just ask the doctor type thing, and we'll do that. I'll contact someone and see if they would like to do that. And I'm sure they have someone that would come out and do that.
Yeah.
Later in the week, and you've seen some of the postings that I've made. And if you're not following me, do so. Scotty Ray's Weather or Scotty Ray and Candace. Make sure to follow both, of shootings and gang-related things that are going on with crime. We'll have a special guest later in the week to discuss what's going on in Meridian. I saw online, nothing to back this up, that there possibly was another shooting around 7th and 33rd Avenue yesterday at some time. Don't know any more than that. Just caught a glimpse of it. I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
But that was one of the rumors floating around out there on that. We'll check into that.
What's the answer to this craziness? I don't know.
And I know this, that gangs have existed since time. New York City back in the days in the 20s, they fought each other. Yeah. Meridian had them during the 60s, and y'all all know that. We had buildings that were destroyed by, and I don't want to use the wrong word, but, buildings were destroyed. They got worse in the Meridian area after Katrina, when we had a lot of people come up from the New Orleans area that brought in new gangs. Rumor is that there's gang initiation going on.
And, a lot of people do say, like you said, they've existed since time. We've always had crime in Meridian, I believe that. I do. But there was a time when this town was where people wanted to be.
Well, they shut it down when something happened. They went after who did wrong and shut it down and arrested or whatever.
Yeah. And so, I believe there's people in all of these communities throughout Meridian that want a safe environment to live in. They've been there for years. They want to live safe. They don't want to have to worry about, is somebody going to get shot every, day in their community or... and it's put a damper on people shopping in Meridian. It really has. I mean, people can ignore that if they want to, but it's the reality. It really has. And so, I don't know what the answer is. I know that, getting rid of people who are making a difference is not the answer, obviously. But, what do you do? I mean, we're not going to just let them take the community.
No,
just
by no means.
Let them take the town. I mean, so something's got to be done.
We're hoping something will.
But we praise the police officers who get out there every day, and first responders who get out there every day, and anybody who tries to help in that sense. We praise y'all.
I don't know a lot about gangs, but I spoke with someone yesterday that knew a lot more than I did. Right. And they were talking about, and the Meridian area is a little different with the gangs that we have, because in a lot of these major cities, the gangs won't intermingle with each other. And if they see each other, there's always a street fight of some sort.
Right.
But in Meridian, they seem to mingle until somebody makes somebody mad, so to speak.
And I don't understand why people, I just don't understand
the purpose of a gang to begin with.
I don't understand it. Why would you want to live like that? Why would you want to live either in fear or in hate? Why would you want to do that?
We'll get into that later this week.
I really don't.
That's coming up, so it'll be interesting. We'll let you know what day we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And so you can join us, and we'll talk more in depth with people that know a little bit more than us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something. If you're looking for a home, if you're getting ready to make that major purchase in your life, and that comes along to where it's probably in most of our common folks where this is the biggest investment that you will ever make. And Snowden Company is there to help you out. They're all about this. They'll walk you through the process and take care of you when it comes to getting that home. And speaking of, as we look at some of the listings they have here, here's Snowden. If you go to their website, snowdenrealestate.com, that's what it looks like. You can choose from homes if you're looking for that log cabin look. They've got that. As you go down here, and maybe you're looking for some acreage. Here's, I think this is like 98 acres of land here. Let's click on this and just take a quick look. That's pretty.
That is pretty.
And that is 92 acres.
That's pretty. And all those buildings and
stuff.
I'm sure come with.
And as you go down through here, it's got timber. And if you're looking for, it's got a metal building there also. I think that's going to be east of Lauderdale is where this is going to be. If you're into hunting, it's got all of this and a lot of pasture land that you can cut for hay as well. So if you're interested in this, talk to them at Snowden Real Estate. Snowden and Company is the way it's worded there. They'll help you in so many different ways there. She bends over backwards to do it. She's been doing this for many, many years. Clark, Kemper, Lauderdale, Newton counties, they help you. We'll get you on your way. In Neshoba County as well. Talk to Amanda. She will do whatever it takes to make sure that you're a satisfied customer. They handle all the tough stuff, so to speak, there.
Yes.
453-3937. They know that paperwork like nobody's business and will save you money in the long run. See them today. Again, that's Snowden Real Estate. They'll help you any way they can.
I was injured in a car wreck in my own hometown. I knew I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home. And if you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
I'm Mike from Jackson, Mississippi, and it took one call. That was all. I called my Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz. He got me $245,600.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we travel through this Tuesday morning. We hope you got a smile and you're feeling better. We do hope that.
We do.
A few comments starting to pour in this morning.
Denise Burnside says, good morning, and it's a beautiful day. And Terry Carter and Sandy White, good morning to y'all.
Made me think of Mr. Rodgers and a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Also, Joyce Snorden Godwin joins us. Perry Knight, good morning to everyone from the Collinsville area. Alicia Fisher is there also.
Good morning to Bill Reinhart, and he's in DeKalb, Mississippi. And Angela Dunnigan, she says, good morning from Carmichael.
Clark County at its finest down there. Steve McKinnon said, woke up for many years on the breakfast bunch on the radio. Did do that for quite some time there. Milton Savell is up along with Larry Smith watching from the Philadelphia community.
We got Marty Chisholm, Mary Chisholm. I'm sorry, Mary. She says, good morning from Damascus. And Kim Volking is in Quitman. Good morning to you.
You know, I also thought that said Marty. I don't know why. I glanced up, and that's what it looked like. Donna White is watching this morning. Good morning to you. Tammy Ivy, all the way from Clark County this morning. She hopes all of us have a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you. And Kenneth Clark is watching.
And Tammy Ivy says her beautiful daughter is 10.
Oh.
She loves watching the show, and she hopes everybody has a beautiful, blessed day.
Yeah, I hope it's a big birthday.
Ray Strebick, good morning to you from Hickory. And let's see, Karen Bethany, she says Hadley says good morning.
It must be her.
Hadley Grace, I think is.
Oh, okay. Sandy Kaz is up also this morning. Let's see here. Good morning from
Hadley Grace.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought that was a community at first.
Yeah. Tammy Fleming says good morning, and it's nice and cool here in Bailey. And then Beverly Davidson, she says good morning.
Let's see. Britt says we played the show. Yes, I remember that. Britt Gully played the show with Asleep at the Wheel and half of Cherokee Made. They thundered and they headed to the bus. I'm telling you, it was, and this was on the backside of Bonita Lakes. One of the first times I think that Jimmie Rodgers had tried to do an outdoor show, and it was out there. And Britt was there. I remember that. Miss Carolyn Smith, she was trying to hold my hand. I kept saying, Carolyn, stop that. Everybody's looking. And she just kept insisting. And if y'all know Carolyn, you know what I'm talking about.
Denise Burnside, she said that some people have had COVID twice. And I was wondering about the like this new strain. I wonder, can you get that? I guess you probably could. I don't know. But anyway, Brian Troy talking about the gangs and stuff. He says stand up and fight back. And, you know, I'm sure that's what people want to do. But you know, it's kind of hard, you know.
Well, and Tammy said we do need God back in our community.
Yes.
That ain't no doubt.
Definitely.
Daphne Chow says, good morning from the big town of Hickory. Hope y'all had some rain there the other night when it come through there.
Lita and Dan Pearson says, good morning from Chunky, Mississippi. And Pat Banks, she's in Macon. We want to say good morning to you.
Yeah. Also, Terry Shelton joins us from the Russell community. Connie Johns is joining us in Meridian as well.
Joyce Godwin, she says good morning. She's in Long Creek. And Andy Barnhill says good morning, along with Teresa Short. She's in Lost Gap.
And the big city of Union is on the map. Jackie Thompson is up having coffee with us, and we appreciate that. Now, if you're watching television going, why are they? Keep talking about it. You can join us on Facebook or YouTube, either way, and comment with us, and we can reply back. Now, if
and then the MD, Channel 24, MeTV also.
24.3. But what I wanted to say is if you watch on Facebook, I've brought this up a couple times, make sure to create you an account with YouTube also as a backup because sometimes you get in jail Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
And you can't comment, you can't do anything. So make sure you have an alternative route to watch. 2 ways to do that, and you can comment. So we'd love to have you on
Because
that.
as we know, they do monitor our
Oh, yeah.
comments.
I've gotten many comments through the other way going, hey, I'm in jail.
Yeah, for what I said.
Oops.
Yeah.
So be careful out there because it is monitored very quickly and
And it's
closely.
not us. It's not us doing it. It's the
That's
media.
right. So they stay on top of this. They watch what is said and done. Let me see here. What was I doing? I was trying to find. This is where I wanted to bring up a few things that went on. You ever lose your place? I did it. That was me. Oops. 1492. And for the life of me, folks, I don't get why Columbus is being canceled in America. I do not understand this.
Really?
But this gentleman, his statues are being taken down all across America. But he set sail today on the Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria and headed out toward America. I bet that ham sandwich didn't last long into that.
That's crazy.
It is different. And he died absolutely broke, not famous at all. Everything that he had done, he was not famous until years later, but he died a pauper.
Really?
And yeah, it's just interesting there. I never listened to this guy's music. It wasn't for me. I know he's huge. He's famous. Still to this day, I can't listen to it. But I know there's a lot of you that eat him up. So we'll wish him a happy birthday just the same. And that is Tony Bennet. He always had a smile. I'll give him that.
You don't like his music?
Just wasn't quite me.
I love the old type music.
So you're into the Tony Bennet type?
I like that. I like old, I like to listen to the, what do they call it? Old big band music. I think that's neat, I
always referred to that as elevator music to me.
Oh, really? I mean, I just like to kind of listen to it. It kind of
So you're into
upbeat,
the Dean Martin type thing?
Oh, yeah, I love old music.
Glenn Miller, the Glenn Miller band, the big band music?
I mean, I do like I like Glenn Miller. I like old stuff, and I like old Christmas songs and, Nat King Cole.
No, that's good. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I love all of that. So I just love it, y'all.
Tony Bennet. And of course, his big one was I Left My Heart in New York City or something like that. Wasn't
San
that
Francisco.
San Francisco. Well, I was close.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're watching from San Francisco, oops, I'm sorry. It was 1927. There's hardly a man alive that's still left. There could still be a few that remembers this, but a man left Meridian, Mississippi and headed up toward Tennessee. He had an audition that day.
Okay.
It worked pretty well for him. He got $100 for it, and well, as they say, the rest is history. As Jimmie Rodgers auditioned in a warehouse and got it. That pretty big deal, and it changed the course of country music from there on. Little is written about that, and there's still an argument whether Geiger, Alabama, or Meridian, Mississippi, is his home of where he was actually born.
We're gonna say Meridian.
That's what they say. But now Geiger, all 10 folks that are still left there come up and go,
Yeah.
He did spend a lot of time over there. Whether it's true he was, I guess that will go on forever as the controversy of who, what, and where. And they also list Ty Herndon's home as Meridian because he was born in a Meridian hospital, but Butler, Alabama is his home. We all know that.
Yeah, I knew. He's a cousin to a friend of mine from high school. So.
Yeah, so there you go. Do you like this next guy?
Yeah, I mean, I've liked him in the movies and stuff.
Yeah, Martin Sheen was born on this date, and of course Charlie being one of his kids.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good actor. I don't think he's ever done anything that, to my knowledge, I'll read a headline like I done that on Willie yesterday and go, Willie Nelson, what are you doing?
He's the dad of Emilio Estevez.
I almost forgot about that. Is there any other kids that I'm not aware of?
I don't know. Not that I know of. There might be some out there. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever gone back, and I probably should have dug up some pictures of when she was in her 20s. But this woman, and I don't guess there's any other way to word this. She was smoking hot when she was a young lady.
She's pretty.
Still to this day, Martha Stewart. I mean, she may have been to prison and all, but I'm still buddies with her. She hangs out. What's his name?
I think they sent her to prison as an example. I mean, they
did.
used her as an example.
1941 was when she was born. But who's the guy that she does that cooking show with now? Is it Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg. Now that's a pair that I would have never put together for a show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I'll watch it and go, wow, that's different.
Yeah, that is different.
I'm not a cooking show like the what's the girl, the Ray girl that does the cooking?
Rachel Ray.
Yeah. She's big, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she is. She's a well-known chef or cook.
Cooking shows are kind of boring to me. I just can't deal with them. There's only 2 that I've ever watched for more than 3 to 5 minutes, and that was Just On back in the day when we had one channel that drank
The
while he
Cajun
cooked.
guy, yeah.
Let's
We used
pour
to
a
watch
little
him all
whiskey
the
up in
time.
there.
I know.
And then
Yeah, wrong tease it.
what's her name that lost everything there for a while? The girl from Georgia that had the cooking line.
Paula Deen.
Paula Deen.
I went to see Paula Deen years ago in Jackson, and I thought I was going to get to see her cook.
And you
I was
didn't?
real disappointed that
What
I
happened?
didn't get to see her cook. Well, she just kind of walked around. There was a chef on her show, and she just kind of walked around and told him what to fix.
Oh.
Every now and then she'd go over there and stir something, but
that wasn't.
it wasn't like what I expected. But I did go and eat in her restaurant in Savannah.
Now, her sons run that, don't they?
I think so. Well, I think they all do, but now nobody was there that day as far as
Famous people.
the sons or her. They weren't there, but it was really good food though.
That'd be almost as disappointing going all the way to Las Vegas to walk in the pawn shop to see, what's his name? And he ain't there.
Yeah, he's not there. I wonder if he's there all the time though.
I bet you not at this point. They've
probably
made it
not.
so big.
Yeah.
And they make that store when the pawn shop looks so big on television, but in reality, I think it's just a little square box.
Oh, is it?
I think it's itty bitty. It's not anything that it appears some things appear bigger on television. I think that's one of them.
Yeah.
It was 1943. In this day and time, he'd get canceled because he can't do that. But General George Patton slapped a GI and told him he was a coward while he was in the hospital.
In the hospital.
Yeah, he slapped him.
That's cold.
I don't know what the actual conversation was, but whatever it was, Patton didn't like it.
Goodness.
And pretty much, he probably had one of those liberal views, and he just slapped him into next week. As
What
they
do you
say.
mean going in the hospital?
He got him. But that was back in the day. And Candace loves these when I dig up these pictures from the past
No,
of
I
dudes
don't.
with hairy chests.
That just, it's nasty.
1974, this was the #1 song, Rub It In, Rub
I'm
It
not
In.
saying having a hairy chest is nasty. But
I
sitting
think that's what she
no,
said.
No, I'm not. But sitting there with it like wide open with the gold chains hanging in it. You know those chains get wadded up in the hair. Don't you know that?
Well, I ain't got enough on mine to do that. I got like a sprig. I'm trying to get some Miracle Grow to make
We're
it look
crazy.
that way.
Yeah, we're crazy.
Just never had it. But
Well, that ain't.
I was at a and some people get taken offense to it. I'm not going to call his name because last time I pointed this out, I was speaking at, I think it was the Ducks Unlimited show. And, where something happened and I needed a little bit more time to feel. And I just happened to see somebody I knew in the audience that I'd seen at a swimming pool one time. And I brought up that he had this hairy back. And he took it offensively that I talked about his back in front of everybody.
Really?
Yeah, got downright mad over it.
Oh, God.
So I won't point out where he works at, maybe out at Structural Steel. I won't bring up his name, but he did get bent out of shape over it.
Goodness. Well, I would probably get bent out of shape too, Scotty Ray.
See, that's the bad part of when you're backed in and when you've got to kill time. The worst that I ever got into a bind was introducing Hank Williams Jr. This was back when Chief Philip Martin, it was just a golden rule back because we used to be the spokespeople for them. And would bring whoever the act was on stage, but the last person to speak before any act sang would have to be Chief Philip Martin. That was his rule of you introduced whoever it was and then he come up and said something.
Oh.
Well, Chief was eating or something, and I stood there for 23 minutes and talked about my dogs. I told everything I knew, and you'll tell on anybody you know after that long.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell you because the spotlight's on you, and you got 3, 4, 5,000 people staring at you, and you got to come up with something to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you say? Did you?
I talked about everybody. I told everything I knew. You better hope I didn't know a secret on you.
Oh my goodness.
I gave it easy.
Oh goodness.
What'd you have?
Stephen Wanda McKinnon said they like to watch Brenda Gant, the cooking. You know, Miss Brenda Gant.
Oh, yeah,
I love watching her too.
She's good
If
at
y'all
it.
have not looked her up on Facebook, you need to look her up. Brenda Gant, and it's Gantt is how you spell her last name. It's just like it. She cooks
Like
just like
grandma?
my mama and just like my grandmother. I'm talking about. I have recipes that are to the T of how she cooks. I mean, it's just crazy. But I love watching her. She's so down to earth and just sweet.
See, I would let you do a cooking section here if you would actually do it. I've offered like 25,000 times to her. Hey, you want to do it? And she, yeah, we're going to do it. And then she never shows up with the food.
My mother ordered me one of those Brenda Gant cookbooks, so that might be a good thing. We need to get Miss Brenda's cookbook. And
We'll do
cook
you
something out of it one day.
a segment each week where Candace teaches us how to cook something.
Oh, good. I don't know about that now.
Well, what I want to know, and here's the key, and I think everybody knows this: has your husband put on any weight since you married him? Because if he did, then you're a decent cook.
Well, I think we both have not missed a meal since
But
we were married.
is he getting skinnier? Because you ain't a good cook if he is.
I don't think he's getting skinnier, but I mean, he's like.
She's trying to be politically correct, everybody.
Look, we're both healthy
Healthy.
that we know of. Anyway, but Debbie Furter, if I'm saying your name right, the last name I'm not sure if I am, but anyway, she says the traffic on 8th Street by 45th Avenue is a mess right now because they're working on a traffic light in front of Mr. Discount.
Okay.
So if y'all have to go that way to work or for anything, just be careful.
You made a comment there with the word healthy, and you know how you have a flashback of when you were a kid? I was 7 years old. I was in Huntington, West Virginia. We had pulled in, we were visiting my aunt and uncle. I was in the back of a 1974 Buick is what I was in. It was gold, 4-door. And I remember the lady in the Dodge Charger without power steering. And she was, I'm trying to think of the word, but my uncle who was driving, he had a little bit of a smart aleck attitude. And she's gripping that steering wheel.
Trying to turn it.
And she's a bigger lady. And he rolls down that window and he goes, "Hello there, healthy." And I thought that woman was going to come out of that car and grab his little skinny self and whoop him to no end. But you know how something sticks with you?
Yeah.
That has forevermore been with me all of my life. Of that when her face, when it hit her, what he said, woo.
Well, I told you about my grandmother I think I mentioned this a while back, in the doctor's office when she asked the woman that had these long fingernails, let me ask you a question. And I knew that was the line right there that was like I was fixing to crawl under the chair. I knew my grandmother, she would just sometimes say anything. But she said, "How do you wipe with those things?" I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed.
Well, I'd like to know that also.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would probably like to know a lot of things, but
did she answer or did she just ignore it?
She did. I went, "Grandma,"
So the lady
She said, "Well, I just want to know," But yeah, the lady just kind of laughed and kind of just not even answered, but just kind of laughed and shrugged it off.
That would cause an issue doing that.
Yeah,
I think so. 1977, this was in theaters today. It premiered, The Spy Who Loved Me. Of course, Roger Moore, still in my mind, was one of the better, what's his faces, 007s.
When people say James Bond, that's the first person I think of.
You didn't lean toward Sean Connery?
I mean, Sean Connery was a good one too, but I always think about this one.
I do too.
When I was younger.
And Pierce Bronson came along, and it just, maybe he was it for, and I don't even know the rest of those guys.
Yeah. Well, that other guy that I can't remember what his name is.
Pee Wee Herman never played the part. I'd like to point that out.
He did not.
This next song that was number one on this date, probably in my mind ranks as probably one of the worst, or maybe the second worst songs ever recorded. I mean, every time I heard it, I tried to jump over a car seat and change the radio the moment that I heard it. I didn't get it. I still don't get it.
Yeah.
It was these guys, Tears for Fears, Shout, Let It All Out.
These are the things that we think about.
Something like that.
It's come on, I'm talking to you, come on.
And that's all the song said.
Yeah. I mean, really.
It was to me, that is, did you?
No, I don't get it either, but,
And coming
maybe that's
up,
what we need to be.
It was horrible, but maybe the other worst song ever is coming up that we'll talk about it also, this slideshow that happened. Tears for Fears. Who would name their group that? Tears for Fears.
I don't know.
Kentucky Headhunters. I'm thinking,
That
just thinking
sounds
out
like
loud.
a movement.
It does.
Tears for Fears.
It was 1992, and I really like this one. Clint Eastwood released another movie, and it premiered on this date. It was Unforgiven. Gene Hackman was in it, and also Morgan Freeman.
I have not seen it.
Oh boy, you want to talk about a Western? And you have to give credit to Clint Eastwood for making things as close to what they may have been during that time period, and he was good at it.
I'm sure it was a good one if Clint Eastwood's in it.
Yeah.
He was always good at it.
Here's this other song that I said could possibly be even worse than that other one. Because is it even English? Because I don't think so. 1996, the Macarena was number one.
Everybody was doing the dance, so.
And I went back and I watched that late last night, and I still scratched my cowboy hat going, what are they talking about? I don't get it.
I think it was just the beat and the main word, the Macarena, and the dance. I mean, that's what, you know.
I can even handle that newer thing, and I guess by now it's probably old, but that song was it Uptown Funk or something like that?
Yeah.
I like it more than I like the Macarena.
I mean, I just know, the main, we could not sing all the song, but
No, I don't know any of it.
The Hey Macarena.
I didn't know that, but that's how it went.
Yeah, the end. But yeah, everybody was doing the Macarena.
You know, as you look into that, it was just by chance that the song even made it. Two guys found it, of somebody that recorded it, took the set, and made it a huge number one. Across the pond, and I like this one. This song went number one on this song day back in 2008, all summer long with Kid Rock. That was just a fun song.
Yeah.
That's considered country nowadays, if no one knew that. I thought y'all might want to know that. But that's kind of a walk down of what went on in history back on this date. Some of the things you like, some of the things that makes you go, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Coming up, we're going to be talking about Judge, how do you say his name?
Napolitano.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in just a moment. He is without a job today. That's coming up. We'll tell you where he lost his job from, right around the corner. But first, as we go out to Collinsville, the Piggly Wiggly, Joe and the staff there are trying to rest up after a big week last week of hanging out at the Neshoba County Fair for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They were busy, but they kept things going there, and they've got great squash prices this morning, $1.49 a pound. If you're looking for blueberries, $2.99 for that pint size, 2 for $3 on the bell peppers there, red, yellow, orange, if you're looking for that. Mayonnaise, yeah, real mayonnaise there, the Piggly Wiggly brand, along with Piggly Wiggly ketchup, $2.99. This is the big one, the 64-ounce there, a lot of it. Keep going and going. Chunky Campbell soup, $1.69. The granulated sugar, you got to have this, a bargain at $1.79. Spaghetti, if you're making that tonight, 39 cents. Yeah, check that out. Nilla wafers. This girl just can't keep putting them down. It's a wonder she ain't got one now.
That and peanut butter is the best thing in the world.
Also, the Mayfield ice cream, 2 for $5. You can take advantage of New York strips, the Angus beef, $11.99 a pound, and assorted pork chops. If you're looking for wieners, they got those. And drinking water and a great deal on Coca-Cola products. If you want a great place to shop that's clean, that's family-oriented, just good folks that support the community, that would be the Piggly Wiggly of Collins. We'll drop in and see my friend Joe. He'll make it well worth your while.
I'm Laura from Columbus, Mississippi, and it took one call, and that was all. I called my Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz, and he got me $250,000.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
Hurricane season is here, and like most Mississippians, you know the drill. Organize a severe weather safety kit, know how to safely use a generator, and have a plan of action to keep your family safe if a hurricane threatens. And when outages do occur, you can now report and view current outages through our free smartphone app or website at emepa.com. Remember, when storms come in, be ready if the power goes out. East Mississippi Electric Power Association is your local Touchstone Energy cooperative.
As we go back to comments of a question that I absolutely have no idea, and I'm going to turn this over to Candace to handle.
Well, somebody said, do you remember the song, Tammy Fleming, do you remember the song Peanut Butter back in the early 70s? And I don't know it. I mean, the only thing I remember is a song that said peanut butter, and jelly.
No.
Peanut.
Is that a commercial or an actual song?
It's a song that people used to sing, you know, and I mean, they taught kids the song. That's the only song I know that had to do with peanut butter. But Scotty Ray and I were talking about the different songs that we've heard. There was one about homegrown tomatoes. Y'all remember that one?
How that ever become a hit?
Ain't nothing like those homegrown tomatoes.
It's shocking that would actually be a national hit, and it was.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But it was a cute little song.
It was. As we mentioned, Fox News yesterday surprisingly dropped Judge What's his name again?
Napolitano.
Yeah.
If I'm saying it right.
I'm not sure as you read the article as to why it's a sexual allegation is what this is about.
Yeah.
He's been let go. There's a lawsuit pending by a staffer against him, and it's from a man. And as you read the claim, I wasn't there. Who knows what really went on? But he's trying to say that the judge rubbed his arm in an elevator.
Right.
That's not any reason to sue, in my opinion. He says that there's a well-known fact that the judge did things of this nature, is I guess the way to put it. But after you read the article, it really makes you go, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Right.
So I guess the courts will decide this. But in the meantime, he has lost his job regardless, as they pretty much have zero tolerance on issues like this.
Yeah. So who knows the facts?
Yeah.
I guess more will come out about that.
And the guy, you know, you got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. There's two sides to every story, and they will have their day in court to find out what happens.
Right.
So good luck with that one. Let's see. This would be what you got?
Somebody said they also let Lou Dobbs go. Did you know that?
Lou? No, I did not.
I didn't know that either.
He had a big show on there. The financial moment with Lou Dobbs. I liked
Goodness.
him. Yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah, it is. Looks like they're letting go all the ones that.
And if you'll notice that slogan, fair and balanced, that's gone.
Right.
From what I read, of course, when it goes back to all of those sexual allegations of who ran the company and who took over, it's definitely a change from where it was. And we all saw that the night of the election in 2020 of the turn. And now I think they've caught on to the fact that they need those Trump supporters for ratings. The ratings are back up this week. I did see that.
Right.
But it is definitely not the network it used to be.
I think they need a new slogan, like I said a while ago. Woke, but asleep at the wheel.
That may be it.
I think they need it.
We'll see there. And Bill said, yeah, they have changed. Have you ever went to a funeral and things gone south, where you're trying to pay your respects and one thing leads to another, and, well, it just turns out bad for the family? There's a lawsuit, and it just seems that lawsuits are rampant. Anything that goes wrong, instead of someone making an apology, they sue over it.
But this was bad.
Yeah.
I will have to agree. I'd be throwing a fit probably about this too.
This was in Brooklyn, New York. They're getting ready to lower the body into the grave, and, well, the coffin won't fit.
Yeah, they did not dig the hole big enough.
And so instead of immediately taking the coffin and setting it to the side, well, they tried to push it on in.
And they were doing this while the funeral was going on, right?
With the family, the funeral ended and the family hung around to watch.
Right.
Most cases here in the South, everybody leaves and then that is done later.
Right.
But New York, maybe they do it different. Y'all tell me.
Because, you know, that would be, I mean, I've never at a funeral, even as a family member, I've not wanted to stick around for that moment, because that is just a hard to watch moment.
The pastor, in this case, hangs around, and they set the coffin, instead of loading it back into the hearse, they set the coffin on the ground. The pastor goes over after about 45 minutes, goes, look, the family's watching this. Can you put it in there?
Yeah.
And then they scuffed up the coffin so bad that they had to take the body back to the funeral home and get a new coffin before it was completely done. The family's suing over it.
Well, yeah, I don't blame them. I will say I don't blame them for getting upset about that. And I don't know about, I don't know about suing. Maybe so. I don't know, but I know that I would be very upset.
Anybody would be.
Touchy time. I mean, you want that to go smooth and be respectful, and
That one did not.
Yeah.
I've only seen a shoe fly into a coffin as they were singing, and somebody tripped and it went up in the air and flew in the coffin. Did watch that at the funeral there, and it was.
I have not seen that. That would kind of like beat out.
Been at one funeral where a coffin was dropped.
Would be bad.
You're toting it to the final resting place and somebody trips, and then there it goes.
Oh, that would be
there ain't no way to stop that. Accidents happen.
Goodness.
But funerals, boy.
Yes.
I don't like attending. This has to be, normally when you see somebody that has a lot of money and they decide they don't want to be married anymore, the divorce goes on for years.
Right.
I've seen people that ain't got, as the old say, I can't say the old saying, hardly a box between them that drags on for years just because they're mad at one another.
Because like a normal divorce would, be over, even if you were getting along. I think, what is it, 60 days? Maybe I'm wrong.
66
I think
months.
something like that. I mean, that's getting along.
Yeah. Bill and Melinda, though, and this is $130 billion. That is over. They are officially divorced now. After 27.
So I wonder, okay, $130 billion split after 27 years together.
Mm-hmm.
Neither will pay spousal support, and she will keep his last name. So they split the $130 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a no-fault divorce, so to speak. Not technically, but they drew it up. You get this, I get this, and then they let it be. They didn't fight over the dog or the house in Malibu for months and months and the law. At the end of the day, and y'all keep this in mind, and I think everybody really knows this, the only winners in a divorce are attorneys.
Right.
That keep it going on forever. We got to go back and file this motion. They just keep them paid. You got to give them credit for working it out amongst themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Hate that happened.
Yeah.
But as you go back and you do all this reading, the problem started there when Jeffrey Epstein got involved and became friends with Bill. That's where she checked out.
I think we're going to figure out later on that was the root of a bunch of different things happening.
Right.
Going down, or people going down.
Okay, Debbie just made a comment. Debbie Furter just made a comment about her grandmother's funeral, and I have heard of this before, that there is a muscle in your back, but she says her grandmother set up in the middle of the service, and she thought she'd come back to life.
Oh, goodness.
Now, if you have someone, you want to talk about clearing out a...
Look, I would be the next one in the room to be... Yeah, they'd have to haul me off to the hospital.
But I have all my life I've heard, and I know nothing about what goes on with a body, but they say there's a muscle that tightens and it will cause a body to sit up.
Oh my goodness!
And
that would be scary.
It would be the Fred G. Sanford moment for me.
Yeah,
that would just
Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm coming. How could you ever shake that out of your mind?
That would be hard to do. Yeah, that's scary.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Mississippi is finally getting one. If y'all hadn't heard about this is going to be on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but we are getting a Buc-ee's.
Goodness.
And if you're watching from Nashville, if you're watching from up in New York, well, that's a pretty big deal for us.
It is
80,000 square feet.
And let me tell you, I just wonder. I'm anxious to see what the minimum wage pay is at that Buc-ee's when they put it in, because there was one that I saw on a sign that was $16 minimum wage.
Wow.
Was the minimum pay for I think it was a cashier or something. Can you imagine go cashier just, ringing up stuff, $16 an hour? The
state now is costing them over $50 million to build, and from what I understand, I think it's $15 million that the state of Mississippi is putting in roads for access to get into where it's going to go. It's going to be huge. Again, this is going to be down on the coast as it comes to Mississippi.
Well, let me tell you, we went into a Buc-ee's on the way home, and usually we stick around and look around, and because it's just it's like a mini mall or something, it's like got everything in it. A little restaurant and grocery store and convenience store, gas pumps galore. And every one of the gas pumps were full of people and people waiting. We went in the Buc-ee's, and I might have already mentioned this the other day, but it was so many people, you had to just kind of scoot around to get around people. And so we didn't stay long. We were out of there because it was just weird, feeling.
I do not know the date that it will be complete. I just know that they're in the beginning process. Alabama already has one. I didn't know Alabama was ahead of us on this.
I did hear that. I heard that.
So salute on this. They opened in Texas in 1982, and if you have never stopped at one, it is an adventure.
Somebody wants to know when Aldi is opening. That is I guess it's a chain of grocery stores. We're getting one. I want to say out in the Crossroads area. And I don't know when they're opening. I know that utility companies maybe have already been working on stuff. I don't know.
I saw that and I didn't know what Aldi was. I thought
I had never heard of that either, but my husband
knows
told me about it. Yeah. Oh. So
Galen Bradshaw says they're building that Buc-ee's 5 miles from where he lives. So you'll have to send us some pictures as progress begins on this.
Yes,
that
Galen.
Golly.
We need updates, weekly updates. how the Buc-ee's is
Yeah,
going.
a Bucky update.
Yeah. You'll be our correspondent now.
I didn't realize this, but a Tennessee, and this makes you go, how could this happen? But a couple that were from Tennessee ran off and joined ISIS. Well, they had a little 8-year-old girl. She's been rescued. Both the parents were killed. They were American citizens to begin with, but the girl has been rescued from the ISIS detention camp. They're waiting to see if she can be brought back to the United States, but that's big news there that's breaking this week.
Why would you go and join ISIS? Why would you do that?
Y'all know what they are. I don't have to tell you. They're bad people.
Yeah.
And the parents were taken out in an airstrike. So we'll watch that news story as that comes to life there. Me and you discussed this yesterday. I don't understand. I don't think we've done it live when we brought up this news story. Me and you talked about it after we got off the air. But this girl who is 15 years old meets a guy online. She lies about her age, tells him she's 18. Well, he comes to meet her. And apparently there was some form of relations that happened outside of the home. But this guy sneaks into the home and lives in her closet for a month before the parents discover him. And
he's 36 years old.
Yeah.
She's 15.
And when the parents would leave to go to work, he would sneak back out, go eat, do whatever he done, and then do things with her that was against the law.
Right.
He's getting 15 years now. Off to the pen he goes.
He needs to. But, you know, we hear about stuff like this happening a lot of times. And, I mean, you kind of just wonder, like, are the parents, surely they're holding the girl accountable too.
You would hope.
Because, you know better. I mean, I'm not saying, it
was false pretense.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just happening in her room. It was happening outside of the home.
Correct.
She was meeting him. I mean, so she kept this thing going.
And where were the parents involved in all this all the time?
Right. It makes you wonder, like, I mean, but as a parent, that would be horrible. And I would be.
And I say this and I don't know the answer.
I don't know that he'd make it to jail. He's doing that in my house. I don't know.
If don't you check your kid's room? You see what I'm saying? Wouldn't you?
I think some people probably don't, some people just kind of like, whatever you're doing, that's fine. Go ahead. But I was always tried to be involved in my kids. I tried to be, and mine would say I was overbearing. So
your husband says that to me all the time.
Hush.
Overbearing. He said that woman won't leave me alone.
He probably does. No, but my kids to this day, think that I'm probably a little too involved in their lives as far as I'm
gonna make some Roy Clark
giving
faces
my advice.
while she says
But
this.
I'll just give my advice till the day I die, though. That's me as mama. So whatever.
We'd like to welcome a new sponsor to the show this morning, and that's Maple's One Stop Shop. Clean, convenient, and locally owned gas stations. They're around town everywhere. And as we do into this is one of the neat things that they're going to be doing. They've got 4 locations, and we'll go through each one of these. If you buy fuel from them, when you get your receipt, write your name and telephone number on it, go inside and drop it in the box, hand it to the cashier. They're going to be giving away a $50 fuel card each week.
That'd be nice.
Who couldn't use $50 worth of gas?
That's right.
Now, you'll recognize this store at the corner of North Hill Street, right there across from Walgreens, Mr. Discount, and CVS. Boy, if you were needing some type of drug, that'd be the place to go to, would it not? But I'm telling you, that's one of the places there. They also are offering pizza, some great deals on this. The Bonita Chevron, which is coming from Bonita Lakes, right in there, and Pine Springs, the country store.
Right at the end of Chandler Road at the intersection.
They're running the Hunt Brothers Pizza Deal. What you get for that is a piece of pizza, a bag of Frito chips, and a 20-ounce fountain drink. I tried to say Mountain Dew, but a fountain drink for only $4.99.
That's a lunch for $4.99.
Yeah. And you can't
beat that.
You can't get it these days.
No.
But
I'm
look
paying
for
an
that.
average of $11 for lunch every day.
$4.99. That's it. Drink all of that. Right. And of course, you can get this. They'll give away, if you're getting a 12-pack, they'll give you a free koozie. Drop in and see them there. They got community coffee and a whole lot more. Now, the locations that I mentioned, they've got 4 of these. Bonita Chevron on the right. You can't miss it like you're going up to Sam's, or the country store. I think everybody's been to the country store once. Also, this is Last Chance Tobacco as you're coming out of Broadmoor.
$4.93.
And then right there at the corner across from CVS, Broadmoor Chevron. Check them out. Again, that's Maple's One Stop Shop. They'll help you out.
Coming home from work, I was involved in a multi-car wreck. It was obvious that I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home. And if you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
As we talk about some more folks that help us there, sponsors, Masterflow Plumbing, and I'm not sure yet if they're going to be doing all the plumbing there for the new Buc-ee's, but I'm telling you, I'm sure he's got a bid in on that. They take care of you from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, all the way to the Gulf Coast. Anything that is dealing with plumbing, they do this. They'll help you, save you money in the long run is what this is. They're honest folks. As you get into having to replace lines, whether it's a complete drain line or if you need a new water line put in, they do all of this for you there at Masterflow Plumbing. Roots and many different things cause problems with this through the years. Clay pipes, metal pipes that have rusted and wore out and causes slab leaks. And you don't want one of these in your home by any means there. They can fix this, reroute it, put it back just like it was and save you money. And as simple as getting a faucet handle replaced. Those things get brittle after years and they look like that right there. I don't know what that is, that turquoise stuff that gets on all of that. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, it's like a patina. It's kind of like copper. When it gets wet or anything, it gets a patina on it.
And it's called funky stuff, too, and they replace it. They'll come in and knock that out and take care of it. They are home with a $90 90-day guarantee. Drain cleaning. And what do? They come, they don't charge you for showing up. It's a flat 90 days, and they'll guarantee it for 90 days, and it's $90. Yeah, not many people do that. If you need a water heater replaced or if you're looking to have your toilet replaced and including getting your tile done. It's all right there. Masterflow Plumbing. See them from the Mississippi Gulf Coast to Hattiesburg. They'll help you. And a lot of years of experience there.
That's right. When your drains don't work, they sure do.
Drop in and see them. They'll help you there with anything that's going on with that plumbing there. This is Tuesday. This morning is flying by so quickly as we travel through this.
It is flying by.
A woman scorned is our next story.
Hell hath no fury.
And that is so true.
That's right. It is true.
If you've got a girlfriend and you've got a secret, or maybe your wife and you shouldn't be doing it, you better not tell her because if things go south, she's going to get you. And this goes to this, the Sharks, his name is Evander Kane. He's a player. And she is now claiming they're getting, they've broken up and she's saying that he has thrown a few games. And because he has a gambling problem.
That's going to come back to bite him.
He come out yesterday and said, oh, she's making all of this up. It could be made up. We don't know.
Yeah.
But the point of the story is she's doing everything she can to destroy his career.
The wife?
It's a girlfriend.
Okay.
And it ain't good for him.
Yeah.
And this is a hockey player is what this is. I don't know much about hockey.
Yeah,
but
I don't either. But yeah. So he lost the games
well, she's saying
because
yes.
somebody had a bet on it, and he was probably going to make some money under the table with it.
She says he has an addiction to gambling, and then he went out. He was offered money to throw the game, and he'd have a big payday.
There's a lot of people that do have addiction to gambling.
Now,
seriously, that you would never think, but they do.
And I don't know all of this that I'm fixing to bring up, but I know you know the name. Pete Rose. What he's accused of, wasn't it really minute?
I don't know. I just remember him getting it. I remember him getting in trouble for gambling or something, but I couldn't tell you what it was. The
best of my knowledge, he just made a bet and then he was busted for it, and they will not let him into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and probably one of the best baseball players that ever existed. They've had countless people sign these petitions to change the rule to let him in, and it just doesn't look like it will ever happen.
That's just crazy.
His whole career. I mean, and the guy was good at what he done. But that's it. Oh, you remember the weightlifter that was transgender that was in the Olympics?
Yes.
Didn't make it. Couldn't pick up whatever it was. Dropped out, so that's not an issue anymore.
Oh, okay.
But did participate. And I want to say the young lady that said she had mental issues finally...
I think I heard she got the bronze.
Yeah. So she actually did do something.
She did balance beam, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. She did a beam routine and got the bronze. So I'm surprised she got bronze, if she was competing, unless she messed up or something. So
that's our little moment there with the Olympics, which I don't know a whole lot about there.
I just know a lot of people are not watching them.
Yeah.
I don't care to watch the Olympics anyway. I never have, but I would support the United States. I'm in full support of the U.S., but I don't know. It's just boring to me.
Denise Burnside almost brings up a old Oak Ridge Boys song, "Trying to Love Two Women." Is like a ball and chain. If y'all remember that song, she says the women will get you in the end. Never forget that. So keep that in mind. We want to remind you again about Rush Hospital up at the Lauderdale County Agri Center. They're kicking off at 11 o'clock. We'll be there till 7. If you need a COVID shot, you want one, don't know where to go, stay in your car, drive through, you get the shot, and then they'll come back in late August in 2 weeks and give you the next shot. Doesn't cost anything. You don't have to be a student. If you're 12 and over, you can take it and just have a signed consent form.
Yeah, the Pfizer shot is 21 days in between each shot, and the Moderna, if I'm not mistaken, is 28 days.
So check it out. Thank y'all for dropping by and spending a few moments with me and Candace. We're coming back in the morning, and that is a threat. We'll see you bright and early.
Y'all have a good day.
Scotty Ray's weather is brought to you by